How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Jemele Hill from ESPN. She does a podcast with a guy named Michael Smith called His and Hers. I think it's on ESPN, like on the actual TV show, and it's also like on iTunes, stuff like that. And she does a lot of politically related talk, but not really all the way overboard like what she did here recently, which was on Twitter. And I'll place that tweet on the screen before you. She basically called Trump a white supremacist and also said that he surrounds himself with other white supremacists. Now, this is very provocative for somebody at ESPN to do. When you're at ESPN, which is part of ABC, which is part of Disney, it's a corporate structure like you've never seen before in your life. It's all kind of stuff. I think Jason Whitlock broke that down. It may have been on Dave Rubin's show or elsewhere or both or many other places where he talked about their structure over at ESPN and Disney and the greater context. When you zoom out and look at it in the macro sense, you got all kind of special interest groups that have their own little group within the organization. You got one for the black folks that work at ESPN. You got one for the gay. You got one for the Hispanic. You got one probably for the disabled, et cetera, et cetera. You got one for the women, all these little different groups, and they push their own narrative. So the structure that they have is so PC that you got to walk on eggshells when you're there. That's why guys like Curt Schilling got fired. Remember him? He was working at ESPN and he had some meme that he posted on his private Facebook page. I'm pretty sure it was private. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the box. But it was on his own Facebook page. And I'll put that meme on the screen before you. It was basically saying, this is going to be the kind of guy that walks into the women's restroom while your little girl is in there, while you were in there, if you are an adult woman or whatever. And you see the guy, if you're not watching me right now, he has like, clothes that are way too small, women's clothing, and he's giant. He's like, an NFL linebacker size, but he's wearing like the smallest thing that a stripper in Las Vegas would wear. Okay. And he's like, this is not what you should want in the restroom. And for that meme, he got fired from ESPN. Now, most certainly, if he gets fired for that, then you most certainly have to apply that same logic to Jemele Hill. I mean, his thing was on Facebook. It was a meme, and her thing was on Twitter in response to someone else. And she said it was like kind of like laissez-faire, not really a big deal. All these white supremacists. Now, that you cannot prove. If it was a true thing that he's a white supremacist, like if he had some kind of tweet on Twitter that says, I'm a white supremacist, if he was evidence to be affiliated with white nationalists or white supremacist organizations, if that evidence was out there, then maybe you'd be able to levy that claim. But in reality, I think Trump could actually sue her for defamation if he wanted to do so. That's kind of a frivolous lawsuit in the sense that she doesn't have any money. And of course, he has money that, like the money that he would spend on lawyers would be more than he would actually ever get from her. So it'd be a dumb lawsuit. But at the end of the day, there is grounds for the lawsuit to continue forward, because when someone says something like that about you without proof, that is called libel and or slander. I think libel is when it's written, like what she did, like it's written and published, and slander is when you say something about someone that could damage their reputation. So there could be grounds for that. But at the end of the day, my whole point here is that what she said about him cannot be proven. That means it's false. So if Curt Schilling gets fired for his meme on Facebook, then surely Jemele Hill must be fired for her tweet on Twitter. As simple as that. But you know what? I would not be surprised if she did not get fired. And this is a big part of the reason why I do not watch ESPN anymore. I'm a big sports fan. I love sports. I love football. I love basketball. I'm glad that NFL Sunday is back. I don't care about the people protesting. I wish they wouldn't, because really it's like distracting, especially when they bring it up. Like I was watching Joe Buck and Troy Aikman talk about the game, and then all of a sudden they highlight people that's been sitting down and kneeling for a national anthem. It's like, look, really, I don't even want to see that. All I want to see right now is sports. I don't want to have my sports and my politics intertwined like that. I don't like that, and I'm a big politics guy. I'm a news junkie, but I do not like sports and politics merging together to the point where when I'm watching the game, they're talking about politics. I'm watching the game to get an escape from politics. It's the same reason why I play video games. It's the same exact reason. I want to be able to enjoy this and not have politics shoved in my face, especially when it's the SJW liberal stuff. I feel like you're trying to brainwash me, and I don't appreciate that. But I don't even really like right-wing stuff smashing my face either. I don't want to have any politics at that point in time. There's a time and place for everything. And I think that the time and place for politics is on a political platform, on a political channel. You know, put that on Fox News, but on Fox Sports 1, I want to see sports. I want to see the play of the game. I want to see, you know, slam dunks in basketball. I want to see a nice reception in football, a nice scramble, you know, run through the middle, touchdown, celebrations. I want to see all of that. I do not want to see politics, especially not SJW stuff. But as I close here, the thing with Jemele Hill, what I want to point out about that is, let's look at the reaction. This just happened. Like, I think it was yesterday this happened. So this is a new thing. It's fresh off the presses. So let's see what the actual response from ESPN is going to be. Are they going to put out a statement apologizing for it, but keep her on? Are they going to suspend her? Are they going to fire her? If they don't, then we have to look at other people that have been suspended or fired that have done similar things to Jemele Hill that affected someone else, right? Somebody that's LGBT, they're black or whatever. If they fall into that category, then all of a sudden it's hands off. You can't do it. But if they're a white male, you can do whatever you want to do. That's unfair. If you're going to have one standard, follow that standard for everybody and not just particular races, because that in itself is racist. When you have rules that do not apply to all the races, I'm just not really with that, right? You can just personally disagree and not like it. The same thing with PewDiePie dropping the N-bomb. You can agree with that or disagree with that. But when you have rules set up that say you're going to be punished for this versus that, and it's an institutional thing, that right there is institutional racism, and I'm not a big fan of it. So what do you think? Do you think that Jemele Hill should be fired for what she did? Do you think she will be fired? And if you don't or you do, please explain to me why. And what about Kurt Schilling for what he did about the whole tranny meme? Should he have been fired for that? Should he have been suspended for that? What should have been the appropriate punishment? And do you think that the tranny meme and call out Trump and white supremacists are on the same level? I think they are, because at the end of the day, you're talking about people that have their own social media accounts. They're posting memes, they're posting responses, and then it may be insensitive, they may be controversial, they may be edgy, and then it's going to be a response. It's going to be a reaction. So what's the reaction going to be? Is it going to be for Jemele Hill or against her? Only time will tell, but whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.